Why are the Euphoric Brothers hiding Garten of Banban 5? I got an early access key to Garten of Banban Chapter 4 and the developers asked me not to show the link to Garten of Banban 6 to anyone under any circumstances. What? 6? Maybe it's a mistake. Garten of Banban Chapter 4 comes out and everyone who bought the game or watched the walkthrough on YouTube is so confused. What? Why? Why is there a link to the Chapter 6? Obviously nobody knew exactly at that time that the Euphoric Brothers were simply hiding the 5th chapter. But why? The most desperate started coming up with theories about their skipping to 6. And somebody suggested that we just went down one extra floor because the elevator we took was a bit broken. We didn't even install the final elevator part because we had to get away from gesture. Besides, the naughty ones escaped from the Queen's pouch, which the entire 4th floor was afraid of. Yeah, no one saw that coming. But it's deeper than that. Euphorics never mentioned the Chapter 5, but you can find the 5th chapter on Steam right now, and it looks very creepy. It looks exactly like the creepy 1st chapter. What's that? Maybe playing for a child if the screenshot is exactly the same from the Chapter 1. Hell yeah, it's very much like the screenshots from the 1st chapter. I just compared the screenshots and descriptions from the 1st and 5th chapters of Garten of Banban, and what surprised me is that the Chapter 5 screenshots are absolutely the same as the screenshots from the Chapter 1. Same drone controller, same locations, but they just imposed the noise effect. The brothers didn't bother to pile up new screenshots. What if they did it for a reason? And the Chapter 5 was hidden for a reason. Actually, one screenshot is different. First of all, there is no drone controller, and secondly, a new previously unknown face peeks out of the canteen. Looks sinister. It has a body. We see that its head is much larger than its arms and legs, and probably the fingers are missing. Was he the one who left the cassette tape in the 1st chapter, with already recorded collapse on the ball pit with the kids on it? If so, then we're not playing the chapter for the child. It's the 2nd parent, or maybe someone finally went to the police. Oh, that's crazy. That's not how it works. However, the absence of the controller on the new screen with the monster could mean that we are a child after all. And then we'll have to survive all the horrors and get to know the monsters from another angle. Because some monsters have completely different attitude to children than to adults. Unfortunately, this may not be the case here, because everything is denied by the height of the picture. It's really high, isn't it, for a child visiting a kindergarten. Having analyzed the screenshots of the 1st and 5th chapters, I still believe that the events of the 5th chapter take place after the collapse of the ball pit. But here's the problem. Why the Euphoric Brothers took old screenshots. One screen, here it is, it's taken from the 1st chapter as a kind of snapshot of this room before the bad events happened in the garden. In the 1st chapter, we can see the tragic writings turned up right after the tragic incident in the game itself. So why this screenshot? Is it just a poorly copied screen with the same applied noise effect? Or do the events of the game take place before or during the incident? I think it could be a mistake. It's not the only thing that was copied. And by the way, this could be the reason why the chapter is hidden and they don't refer to it directly from the 4th chapter. It's some kind of parallel story taking place in the same universe but with more creepy details. The monster remotely resembles Zolphius, maybe it's his offspring after all. So what's this creature doing here? What does it eat? Well, we also have the game descriptions, and their only difference is that the 5th chapter description is one paragraph longer than the description of the 1st one. The paragraph in Chapter 5 reads as follows. Explore with your flying companion. Everything's better when you have a friend to share with. Use your handy drone to help you navigate and proceed through the facility, as well as have it keep your company when you're feeling lonely and scared, which you'll feel very often. I mean, don't you think that this paragraph's a little bit clarifying? And separates our roles. This concept of calling a toy drone a companion in Chapter 5 gives us a hint of a child. If we don't mind the height of the protagonist, we could easily get a drone controller playing for a child. The original Banban writing on the wall is supposed to stay, as well as Appilla's drawing on the board. Here's the thing, we're a child and we came to meet a friend day. Today's the day when the kindergarten administration will show the kids their finished cases. According to one source is the papers and the video from the tape. This case is kept in fiddles, and in the 1st chapter we only find traces of Appilla's presence on the come to meet a friend day. Before the incident, during and after, she remained and we ran away from her. If Fiddles get into the bull pit together with the kids, then it's pretty clear why we never saw him. Overall, where's the true or not, that's not the reason to hide the game like that. The 5th chapter is definitely not an ordinary one. With such weird screens and no announcement whatsoever, the brothers wanted to emphasize its mystery. The chapter 5 will definitely add more details to the story, and maybe some creepiness. The last chapters of the garden are not really scary. Monsters interacted with us more and even offered their help. It could be a special chapter to put the whole game perception in place, to get us back to the time when we first visited the garden after the incident. And even though the chapter was hidden, we found it, and are no longer that critical about the repetitive screens as we would have been if we bumped into it in the 4th chapter. That's why it was hidden. Well, if you like my version, subscribe to my channel and I will definitely complete the game on stream. See you in the next videos.